Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I will show you how to create this compositing in Photoshop using various adjustments. Let's go. Hey guys, so first we'll be working in our background, and for that we will be using few adjustment layers, that is color lookup and color balance. So starting with the color lookup, select the futuristic blick. From the blending option, select it to color and reduce the opacity to around like 40%, and after that select the color balance. Now we will be adjusting the midtones, shadows and highlights. So starting with the midtones, set the cyan to -8, shadows to 8, and the highlights to -11. That's the yellow. So you can see the change from this to that. So the next step is that we will be working our foreground layer, and we will be going through various adjustment layer to blend the foreground to background. So let's start with the foreground layer. So before we start, we will create a luminosity map. So create a new layer, go to edit, fill, 50% gray, set it to luminosity, and create a new adjustment layer, that is hue and saturation, and set the saturation to +100. So here is a luminosity map, and it will help you to match the color tones of your foreground and background, and rename it as luminosity. Now select the foreground layer and create a brightness and contrast adjustment layer. Right click on it, create clipping mask, and adjust the brightness to -50%, and we will create another adjustment layer, that is levels, and in here we will adjust the midtones and the highlights only, not the shadows one. So for the midtones one, we will adjust it around like 0.94, and for the highlights one you will use 228, and set the output levels to 219. Now we will add another adjustment layer, that is the selective color, and we will match the color tones, and later on we will work on these two layers. So set on the luminosity map and select the selective color, select the neutrals, and we will now match the color tones using the neutrals. Set the cyan to around like +8, magenta to +3, and black to 2. And now we will add a hue and saturation layer, and we will adjust the saturation a bit. like 20% is fine. And now we'll add another adjustment layer, that is the hue and saturation once again, and this time we will adjust the lightness, set it to -20. Select the layer mask, Control I to invert it, select the brush tool, around the opacity of 40%, set the foreground color to white and start painting on those highlight areas. We will remove those highlight areas. Just paint on those highlights and those shadows little bit, not too much. Increase the opacity a bit. So you can now you can see the difference in these two. Now we will add a curves adjustment layer. So in this step I am going to show you how to match the lighting with the channels. So select the reds, just zoom in a bit. Now select the hand tool and from the, now check the blue one, go to blue, select the hand tool, just a bit. Now select all the RGB. Now we can check the luminosity map, how the color tones are matched. Now select the brightness and contrast layer. Now we will paint on those highlight areas. Select the brush tool, set the opacity to 12%. Just keep on painting on the highlights areas, just reveal those areas. just keep on painting on those areas only. Now select the levels one, the same process, just reduce the opacity to 9% and paint on those highlight areas. Now after that we have finished. Now we will create another adjustment layer, that is the channel whisker, and we will adjust the reds, green and blue. Set the red to around like 70%, green to 13, and blue to plus 30. And just we will remove those highlights. Just select the layer mask, set the opacity to 100% and remove those. So now check the luminosity map. You can check the tones now, how it is matched. So set the hue saturation and hue to around like +2. And now we are going to add another adjustment layer, that is curves, and we will be using it for our rim light on the highlight areas like this. So take the hand tool and just increase the okay. Now select the layer mask, press Ctrl I to invert it, select the brush tool, set the opacity to 30% and paint on those areas, highlight areas. Sorry, foreground color to white, and now paint on those highlight areas. Just the hairs. Now after that, go to the brightness and contrast layer, set the foreground color to black, set the opacity to 8%, just paint few more, not just much. Okay, now we will work on the rim lights. So select the foreground layer, go to effect styles and select the inner shadow, set it to white, press OK, blend mode to overlay, so you can check. Now press OK. Now after that you are done with the effect styles. Right click on the effects, create layer, press OK and put it on the first one. Now select the foreground layer once again, go to effect styles, inner shadow, set it to white, set the angle to 47 degrees, set it to overlay and press OK. Right click on it, create layer, press OK and make it to first. And now we will adjust the rim lights because it is pretty strong, and for that select the first rim light, create a layer mask on it and Ctrl I to invert it. Select the brush tool, set the opacity to around like 50% and just paint on the highlights. Now select the second one, layer mask on it and invert it, set the opacity around like 70%. So we have done with the rim lights. So in the next step we will fix the glasses. For that select the foreground layer, Ctrl J to duplicate it, now cut out these two glasses, select the pen tool, just the Control C, Control V. Select out the second one. Control C, Control V. Now delete this layer. Merge these two layers. Control plus E to merge it and create a new layer. Right click, create clipping mask on it. Select the brush tool and set the opacity to 100% and just and now we will place the background in the glasses. For that, file, place, and place it according and place the second one. Merge these two layers and reduce the opacity to around like 60%. Just take it out. Now we have fixed the classes. Rename it at class fix. And now we'll play with some color and light adjustments. For that, go to the new adjustment layer and select selective color. From there, select neutrals, starting with the cyan. Set the cyan to around like 10, magenta to around like 2, yellow to around like 3, and black to 1. And we'll now another adjustment layer, that is black and white. Set the blending mode to luminosity and it will help us to pop up the colors. Starting with the reds, adjust it around like 44. I think yellow is great, and greens to around like 52 is fine, 50 is fine, and cyan to 60 is absolutely fine. Blues to 31 and magenta to 80. Now we will add another adjustment layer, that is color lookup. Select futuristic bleak from there and from there select it to color and set the opacity to 16%. or around like 14 is fine, and we'll add little bit of exposure in our scene. So from there add exposure and set the exposure to around like 18. So it's looking fine now. And lastly we will make few adjustments. For that, create a new layer, zoom in a bit, select the brush tool, select the white color, and we'll add some room lights for his hairs. Just add a few more. The ears. Just little more details for his ears. And select the first trim light and just add some lines. And rename it as highlights. And now we have finished the whole compositing. Create a new layer, press Ctrl Alt Shift and E to merge all the layers. Rename it as final output. Hey guys, thank you for watching my video, and please do put a like on it. And if you have any query related to my any tutorials, please comment on the comment box. I will reply to it. And thank you once again.